let's dive right into what we are talking about when we talk about CBD. We're talking about the cannabinoids that come from a hemp plant, not marijuana. This is very important. Marijuana is grown for the THC. A hemp plant is grown, there's little to hardly any THC. And in some of the variations, there really isn't any THC in the bud. That's very important. That's a hemp plant. Also, there are medicinal qualities identified in hemp. So this hemp component turns out to be a very, very big aspect when we start looking at the manufacturing and classifications of hemp. So in 2018, the Farm Bill, which was signed by the president of that time, took away the Schedule I classification of hemp, so it became legal to grow. And in the state of Utah, you were legally able to grow hemp. So we entered into the marketplace. Now, I'm going to marry this up with Jeff Tuttle in a second because, like I said, Jeff was looking at this since that bill was passed, that now might be the time to jump into making and manufacturing CBD products. But there was a very important part of the hemp process that he wanted to be able to control. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. Additionally, cannabis plants containing under 0.3% of THC can legally be defined as hemp and do not alter your mind. So when people think sometimes of cannabis, they think, well, that alters your mind, that gets you, quote, high. Not the case when we're talking about CBD products, because anything under 0.3 can be legally defined as hemp. So a very important distinction when we are talking about cannabis and CBD products. So now let's talk about Liv's CBD products. Let's talk about the plant. I have a great picture here of our actual farm. And on my right is Jeff Tuttle, our CEO and formulator. And on my left is our vice president of sales, but also a chemist, Jason Henderson. So our farm, we have partnered up with a farmer in Utah that has created this completely organic growing process. Now, why is that important? Well, in the hemp process of growing this beautiful plant and creating these buds, a hemp plant gathers all of its nutrients through the roots. And so it's just absorbing absolutely everything that's in that soil. So if we were putting pesticides that were then through water going into the soil, that would also be absorbed up into the plant. And that's why having an organic garden was so important. And Jeff knew this. Jeff Tuttle understood that if he could control these CBD components at the base level, you guys, this is from the seed up, that he could really create something that would be extraordinary. And that's what he did. Once he was able to get in at the ground level, literally, that's when he said, yep, I'm going to go ahead and bring out CBD products. So this is important. Liv International controls the source. We love that. And now let's talk about Jeff Tuttle himself. In the world of CBD products, you can have anybody formulating the formula. You don't, there, again, this is not FDA regulated. There isn't any industry, government industry, that's saying you cannot bring out a product in this world that, or in this industry that you even need a degree in. But we realize that when we are consuming something internally, these are not topical products, this is going in internally, that it is extremely important to understand how these products work with the chemistry of our body. And Jeff Tuttle, our formulator and CEO, has a degree in chemistry. He also has the background of formulating over 100 products himself, including all of these fantastic products you see here on the bottom. This is the Liv line of products. So he has brought all of these products to market. We have a very unique style in supplementation. We're all about lifestyle supplementation. And so he's taken that expertise and he's brought it into this world of CBD products and what we're going to be talking to you tonight. Also, he's looked into the manufacturing process of this, and our products are manufactured in a GMP certified facility, which means a good manufacturing practice facility. So that's really important. Now you can trust the formula and you can trust the manufacturing process. And in this world of CBD products, that's extremely important because that is not the case across the board in all of the other offerings out there for CBD. Additionally, Liv invests in third-party testing. This is an actual example right off of our label on our oil that you can scan this with your phone and a certificate of analysis will pop up. Now, why is that important? Well, it verifies that what we say is the total cannabinoids, the potency of this product is actually in that bottle. And it also validates that we are a full spectrum CBD product. It checks for heavy metals and toxins, super important. Let's look at what a certificate of analysis for this product looks like. And here it is. Now, why would this be important if you're just looking at full spectrum products across the board? Well, it turns out that not all full spectrum products are actually delivering on what their labels say. And when you go to the expense of having a third party validate your label, now you're just helping the consumer make a much better choice. And we've done that. We've gone to that process. So I just want to show you, here's the full spectrum of all the cannabinoids that, that are within a particular possibility for full spectrum products and where we land. So here they all are. And total cannabinoids for our 1,000 milligram CBD oil that we're going to be talking about in just a few minutes is 43%. And you can see here that the total THC is 0.12. Now remember earlier I said that legally for it to be called hemp, it had to be under 0.3. And again, even at the 0.3 level, you didn't have a mind-altering experience. We're way under that at 0.1, very important. Also, look over here on the left. He tested for pesticides. He tested for mold, that's the microbial. He tested for solvents and heavy metals. He didn't have to test for that, but we went to the expense to do that because that's the level of quality of assurance that Jeff wants to do when he takes his products to market. So you can rest assured that that's been done at this level. And I love when I talk to educated consumers and they actually ask to see the certificate of analysis. And we've done that. Here, here it is. Now let's talk about why full spectrum CBD is the way to go. It's going to give you a more medicinal effect. And this is a wonderful visual over here on the right. Do you see that this pie chart gives you that a typical CBD product would have, almost more than half has all of these particular benefits to it, the anti-inflammatory, anti-spasmodic, anti-epileptic, antibacterial, all of these things, wonderful, right? But if you add in a little THC, a little CBC, a little CBG, now you're getting all of these other components. Very, very influential. In fact, they call it the entourage effect of helping you get a better medicinal, a medicinal product that's actually going to do something with your body. And now over here on the left, I have a visual on the cannabis terpenes. Now, the terpenes are the component that give a plant its smell and taste. So for an example, I want you to think about a lavender plant. We all know what lavender smells like. And for those of us who are loving essential oils, we know that lavender has a lot of medicinal qualities and it has a very distinctive flavor and smell. Well, that is the same in the in a cannabis plant. And you can see that each terpene has its own little medicinal quality. Now, our product doesn't have every single one of these, but we have a variety of them. And you can see that they're just as important as all of the CBD components. So we have anti-insomnia, antidepressant, antibacterial, anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory. I mean, there's just a whole hodgepodge here of things that can happen. And all of these together, the CBD component, the cannabinoids, the terpenes, the flavonoids, that makes this a full spectrum product that gives you the entourage effect. So when I think of the entourage effect, I think of like a great big movie star or some big, beautiful singer like Beyonce, you know, somebody who has their whole group around them, right? They've got their person who does their hair, their person who does their makeup, the person who chooses their clothing, their agent, you know, they're good by themselves, but when you add in all of those people, their entourage, they become spectacular. And that's the entourage effect that you get from a full spectrum product like the Liv International products that we've brought to market. Now, a lot of people say, well, okay, the CBD is interesting to me. I've heard a lot about it, but I don't understand how it works in the body. And that's what I want to introduce to you, a whole really cool new research that's coming out, but it's been around since the 1990s. And it's called the endocannabinoid system. This was discovered in the 1990s. Every mammal has this system. And basically, it's a system within our body that regulates functions such as pain, mood, memory, temperature, components like that. And its real purpose is to help your body maintain homeostasis. And homeostasis means it's there to help you just regulate back down to normal. So think about when you have your temperature goes up or your temperature goes down in your body. This kind of a system would go into effect to help you kind of regulate back down to normal. So the CBD actually affects the receptors of this system. So I think of a lock and a key. So the system is all over our body. It's in our brain. It's all over our body. We have these receptors all over our body, and we have these receptors in our internal digestive system. And you have the CBD come in, the cannabinoid come in, it's the key, and it can find the receptor and it locks in. And so it assists this endocannabinoid system in all of these functions all throughout the body. And you guys, they're still researching this and finding out more and more. So that's why CBD works at what it does. It helps the body regulate this system. Now, the system works only as good as your ability to absorb the product. So let's talk about that. You can't feel what you can't absorb. The rate and extent to which a product's, any CBD products, bioactive ingredient reaches circulation. And in this case, it means the bloodstream. Remember, I told you that these products are going to be internal and not topical. So the challenges with CBD products, and remember, this is not a regulated industry. It is up to the consumer to do the research to find the right product for them. And we are basically demonstrating to you tonight that Liv has done this research for you. We stand behind the quality of this product. But the challenges with CBD products, first of all, the products don't contain the CBD claimed on the label. So this is buyer beware. And in fact, this just made headlines this month that they're now testing randomly CBD products, and they're finding more than not that they're claiming that they're full spectrum when in case they're not. They don't actually have what's in there. Additionally, you have consumers that are buying CBD products that don't contain enough CBD for you to even feel a benefit. Since I've kind of dived into this whole program, I've talked to a lot of people and they'll say, yeah, I tried the CBD before, you know, I bought it when I was traveling or something, and I didn't feel anything. Well, it's because they probably went in and had someone tell them, well, here's a good place to start. And it was probably not enough milligrams for them to even feel anything. They made the investment. They didn't know, you know, it wasn't their fault. It just wasn't enough. And so they're just not getting enough of it. And so that's a problem. And that was something that Jeff Tuttle looked into and researched. And there's a reason why he came out with the milligrams that he did. And in a few moments, my partner, Gina Anderson, is going to talk about that, because it was important how we came into the industry and the milligrams that we did. Additionally, another challenge with CBD products is that people chose the wrong format right from the beginning. They were using edibles or gummies. Now, I'm not saying there's something drastically wrong with edibles or gummies for the CBD. What I'm saying is, if you're using them for the purpose of all those things that were at the beginning, right? The insomnia, the pain relief, the anxiety, remember that it's all about what you can absorb and when it reaches your bloodstream into circulation. Well, when you consume something like a gummy or an edible, it has to go through your digestive system, get broken down from the acid in your stomach, and then enter into your intestines before it even goes up into your bloodstream. Well, how long does that take? Are you a fast digester or a slow digester? Did you eat something with the gummies or the edibles, or was it on an empty stomach? I mean, all these factors play a really important role, because you don't know when it's going to hit, and you don't know if it's enough, or is it too much, right? So we have consumers who a challenge is, I tried it and it didn't do anything. Well, again, probably not the right way to do this. So let's look at what Liv decided to do to handle these challenges from a consumer level. We enhanced the bioavailability of our product. And this is a picture of our CBD. This is the first time we're showing it tonight. This is our full spectrum oil. So Liv decided to take the CBD oil and put it into an MCT oil. That's a medium chain triglyceride, which is derived from coconut oil. So for all of my Hawaiian friends, you guys are probably loving that, right? The coconut oil is used in so many ways. Well, it ends up that the MCT oil actually protects the CBD component from being broken down in the digestive system before reaching the bloodstream. Hugely important, right? We just talked about bioavailability and the reason why that's super important. So now if I can put it in oil, encase it with more oil, and it digests in, now I can make it more available into my bloodstream. And you guys, what's really cool is the MCT oil actually provides energy and boosts the immune system. So it even has its own medicinal qualities. Now we use this product under our tongue, or you can add it to food. You can add it to beverages as well. But for the purposes of the things that we kind of talked about from the very beginning, that it would be best if you put it right under your tongue and then held it there for 30 to 45 seconds. So here we are. We're going to dive into the LIV'sCBD oil. It has 33 milligrams per serving of full spectrum CBD. And remember, that includes the terpenes, the flavonoids, and the phytonutrients. So that just makes it a wonderful entourage that's going to go into your body and give you the best quality that it can. And the recommendations for beginning your CBD journey, we're going to recommend that you kind of state where you are on a scale of 1 to 10 before you take the product. You know, where are you in your level of insomnia or pain or arthritis or whatever the case may be? Where are you? And then you start taking it. And then for 7 to 10 days, you start gauging, you know, is that going down? Am I feeling better? That kind of thing. So that you're really finding a benchmark before you start off. And we start off with half of a dropper. When you pull that lid out, that's a full dropper. That's 1 ml. And we start off with half of a dropper. And then you do that for 3 days. And then you can increase or decrease on the 3rd day. And I will have Gina talk more about kind of the levels that you want to think about as you're increasing with the product. And then we can look at this product specifically for helping with sleep, mood issues, acute and chronic pain relief. It's an anti-inflammatory. It helps with depression and PTSD and the certain disease states that we talked about earlier. And look at this price point. You guys, this is a fabulous price point for entering into the market at 1,000 milligrams. So when I said that Jeff kind of looked at what was happening in the marketplace, we didn't mess around with the 250, the 500, the 400 milligrams. He went right to the 1,000 milligrams. And I'll wait for Gina to kind of explain that to you. So I do want to introduce Gina, because you do get what you pay for in this particular industry. There's a lot of things that are going on, and I just explained a lot of them, of the trustworthiness of certain products. But we control the growing process of the plants. That's why Jeff finally decided to start doing CBD products. We use the expensive extraction of CO2 for our extraction process. We have the talent of Jeff Tuttle, our formulator, and we do pay for the outside testing, and we manufacture in a GMP certified plant. So I want to introduce Gina Anderson to you tonight. She is a holistic lifestyle, diet, and exercise coach. She's also been with Liv International practically from the beginning. She's been consuming the products and sharing them herself for 13 years, and she's been in the natural healing world for 15 years. So Gina, welcome. We're excited to hear from you. You are still on mute. I just wanted to let you know.
Thanks, Jolene.
You bet.
Yeah, so I, like Jolene says, I've been taking these products for quite some time now, and really got into the health and wellness industry because I'm an extreme outdoor athlete. And with that comes a lot of bumps, bruises, sprains, strains, and more visits to the emergency room than I'd like to admit to. But even though the mainstream medical system was able to put Humpty Dumpty back together again, I wasn't going to rely on them to stay out of pain, keep healthy, and keep my daily life going. So when CBD products came out into the market, I did tons of research on it. And to be honest, I was actually I signed up for one of the first MLMs that came out with CBD and hemp products. And not knowing a whole lot about it then, I dove right in. And shortly after I got involved with them, I realized there was kind of a lot of junk in there that I didn't want in my body. So there's a lot of options out there, and you really do get what you pay for. A lot of products out there have propylene glycol or vegetable glycerin, or just a whole litany of other things that are going to have more adverse effects than what you're actually taking the product for. So that's really why I stopped actually being a representative of that other company. And since then, I've really had a hard time finding something that was suitable. Another little testimonial: 5 years ago, I actually broke my back and was able to heal it naturally in about 6 months. It took a lot of hard work and dedication, but again, the pain and the inflammation and all these things were a factor, and just over the years, some lingering effects, some arthritis, pain had kind of been still prevalent. And so when Jeff came out with this product, I was just elated. When he announced this at convention, I got goosebumps all over my body. I literally started crying because, as far as I was concerned, he did everything right. Jolene kind of went into some of that, but for me, the organic from seed to harvest was huge. During my healing journey, I became a huge label reader. And so knowing that it just had those 4 basic ingredients in it and nothing else was stellar information to me. The CO2 extraction that he used, it's the cleanest, purest, safest way that doesn't damage any components of the plant. So the clean ingredients, the extraction method, it being organic, I was all on board. So I actually got a bottle at convention and thought, I'm just going to try it and see what it does for me. So I started off with about a half a dropper twice a day and felt like I needed to bump it up a little bit. But after a couple of weeks, all my arthritis pain was gone. So this is going to be in my regimen forever. So Jolene also commented on a little bit about the price point. He came out with 1,000, Jeff came out with 1,000 milligrams, because that's basically kind of a middle ground, or a really good, fair midpoint to start out with. Because for people that have just the acute pain, maybe headaches or sleep, arthritis, for brain health, depression, anxiety, that kind of thing, you don't have to take so much. So you can do that, maybe that half a dropper. But for people that have chronic issues such as diabetes, Parkinson's, PTSD, seizures, acute, chronic pain, those types of things, you can adjust that dosage so that you're getting more of that beneficial CBD. Like Jolene mentioned, a lot of times people were probably using a product and notice a change because they weren't taking enough. So with this 1,000 milligrams, we can really vary that dosage depending on our individual needs. And when you're taking the product, you'll have to kind of find your own little sweet spot. So with Jolene already touched base on this as well. All mammals have a cannabinoid system and cannabinoid receptors, not only us humans, but also our pet friends. So I did a bunch of research on how to do the dosage for pets, and you don't have to go buy a special pet formula for this. You really only need to adjust the dosage. So if you have a pet that's, on the lighter side, maybe 10 pounds, you can start off with 1 to 3 drops. If they've got a chronic situation going up, you can go up to 9 drops. We have a lot of like elderly dogs, some of these bigger dogs that are coming down with arthritis and cancer, having to go through cancer treatments, which just blows my mind. But we can also help our furry friends by giving them more drops as well. So you'll see on this chart here, it goes up to like a 70-pound pet. You can give them up to 60, 65 drops, depending on what they need that for. So I have this little black kitty that you can see on the screen. She is one of our community cats that we have in the neighborhood. And we think one night she got attacked by a raccoon. And we had made an appointment for her to go over and get her shots and get fixed. And that was only a couple of days before this attack. And she literally looked like she was on death's door. She could hardly walk. Her eyes were glazed over. She was not coherent. She hadn't been real friendly before, but she would let us pick her up, which she never had done that before. So we took her over for her procedure, and I didn't think she'd survive. I really didn't. I thought she was that far gone, and that she was that frail that she wasn't going to survive. But lo and behold, she did. And as soon as she got home, I started putting 3 or 4 drops of CBD in her food twice a day. And literally after a week, she was brand new. She was a brand new cat. And now we're best friends. She'll sit on my lap. She'll let me pet her, and she's just as happy as can be. So that's a testimonial that I have for just even my own little community cat. And so you don't have to worry about overdosing your pets or even yourself. Your body can only absorb as much as it will need, and it will excrete the rest. So you don't have to worry about overdosing on any of that. But yeah, so you can start off as low as you want and go up as high as you want. But like I said, there's a sweet spot for everybody. Oh, you're on mute, Jolene.
Okay, great. Thank you, Gina. I appreciate it. That was great information.
Does anybody have any questions on that, or anything you want me to clarify?
You can also include it in the chat room, guys, and we'll make sure that we respond. So thank you so much. And thank you for your continuing education, or your continuing to stay with us. We've just got a few more things to cover, and then we'll get to the prizes. So we get to talk about Jeff's CBD infused beverage. It's called Elevate, and man, does it do that in spades. This product is absolutely unique in its making. It is spectacular in its function. And it's just one of those products that comes along that you're just like, I just got to get this in everybody's hands. So he infuses this beverage with 10 milligrams of full spectrum hemp concentrate. So there's a component here. Remember, we're feeding the body, we're feeding the endocannabinoid system when we give it full spectrum CBD. And then he's put in this blend of phytonutrients, which have some stimulants, and I've put those in the orange color here. So a little caffeine, a little ginseng, a little green tea extract, some taurine, and some L-theanine. So you've got all of that in there, stimulating the brain, giving you this energy, but yet you've got the CBD that's relaxing the body. And then look at the, to me, it's amazing that he went this far. He put in adaptogenic herbs like ashwagandha, bacopa, ginkgo biloba, rhodiola extract, and those help with the parasympathetic system. So now you're kind of bringing people down from an anxiety level as well. So for people who need mood enhancement, maybe they deal with anxiety, maybe they're struggling with mental alertness throughout the day, this product really, really helps. But it also helps just the everyday person who just wants to get through their day, but get rid of maybe the less healthy caffeine choices that you are making throughout your day. And what I love about this drink is that it tastes delicious. I literally have not had one person who's tasted this drink and said, "Ooh, I don't like it." It's fantastic, you guys. It's a pina colada drink. And then look at the price point that Jeff did here. We have 30 sticks in this Elevate's full spectrum CBD infused drink. It's 30, that's one a month for $75. That's crazy, because when you walk into a health food store and you go get any kind of CBD infused drink, they start at $4 each. And this is under $3. So it's just a wonderful price point that he's done here. And I'm getting all kinds of feedback from people telling me how this is just changing, how they're going about their day, but more importantly, that they're able to sleep at night. It doesn't affect how they sleep at night. So absolutely love this product. Let's look at a couple other folks who have some great testimonials. Amber here is a person who has struggled with addictions in the past, and she is also a person with fibromyalgia. She is using both of these products. It's gotten her off of her 4 Red Bulls a day. She is able to sleep at night and sleep completely through the night, and her fibromyalgia pain has been completely at bay. Where it used to be for her to do laundry and clean her house in a day, that was too much. She couldn't do that much, but now she's able to do that. So for her, this has been life-changing. This young man over here who's a rock climber, he's the son of the gentleman that we first were introduced to, Jason Henderson, who is also a chemist for our vice president of sales and training. His name is Joshua. So Joshua relies on our Green 2.0. And for those of us who are already in Liv International, we know that Green 2.0 is a foundational drink. You drink it all throughout the day. It increases your pH. It helps with inflammation, and it supplies the body with a resurgence of minerals and electrolytes all throughout the day. So obviously someone who is a extreme athlete is going to gravitate to Green 2.0. And he says it's his go-to drink. I'm giving my body what it needs, especially on the days where I'm climbing all day long. And then he goes on to say, when I come home from a hard day of climbing, I'm mixing the CBD oil with my Green 2.0, and it has a really calming and relaxing quality. It's been incredible. So I love that quote from Joshua. And then this beautiful mother up here at top, this is our Valerie. So Valerie was one of the very first people who had enjoyed the CBD oil literally on the night that we launched these products into the United States. And we were out with Jeff Tuttle at dinner time, and Valerie has diabetes, and she has a side effect where her hands will, with neuropathy, they'll go numb and she can't feel them anymore. And she was rubbing her hand at dinner time and she couldn't even pick up her menu. And Jeff is like, use it, put it under your tongues, you know, see if it'll give you some relief. And we were all at the table. We all watched this happen. Within 7 minutes, she was like, oh my gosh, I can completely feel my hand. I can pick up my silverware. I can pick up this menu. It's incredible. And so for her, this has been not only life-changing in keeping the neuropathy at bay, but it's helping her do her job better, because one part of her job is to take notes all day long. And she is able to do that, where normally for her in the past, 3 days a week, she would struggle with even being able to hold the pencil to be able to take the notes. So for her, it's actually helped her increase her value in her job. So I love hearing things like that. You guys, these are life-changing products. And I just want to say here, for anyone who is looking for a side gig, for residual income, for an opportunity to start doing something where you're, you know, you're involved with a company with integrity and you want to create an income, these products would be a fantastic way to enter into an industry and a market where it's only going to get bigger. We are in the infancy stages in this CBD world. This is a phenomenon market that we're not gonna realize how impactful this is going to be, because it's doing something natural to the body, where in a lot of these cases, these folks had only had Western medicine protocols to have, and now they have something naturally that the body will accept. So if you are looking at that, we invite you to come on board with us at Liv International. We now have the products. We've got amazing sales and training, and we have a pay plan that that will serve you well and give you the residual income that literally you can have for the rest of your life. So I invite you to get back to the person who invited you here to explore that even further, because we're just scratching the surface tonight talking about the CBD products. We haven't even talked about all the other amazing products.